Hi guys and welcome back on my channel. So today I react or re-react on the most hated cartoon characters ever from Cartoon Oshi or what's called or Cartoon Shi. I don't fucking know what's pronounced. I don't fucking care, but yeah. So I think the title explains itself, so I don't talk too much and let's go to the video. Before the video continues, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell, and drop a comment. The algorithm loves that. Also make sure to follow me on Twitch. I'm live every weekend, Friday through Sunday, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. UTC+1. And don't forget to follow me on my social media channels too. Now back to the video.
Maybe there's a contest for lonely children after this. It's only children, DW. A lonely child is what you're gonna be when I sell you.
Hated cartoon characters. I'm sure you can think of
What
a few
the
off the top of your head. Sure, there's always going to be at least one character in any movie or show that you don't vibe with, but then there's the ones that really get under your skin for some reason. Whether they're just incredibly annoying or actually the devil in disguise. And oh man, oh boy, oh...
Yeah, I know, Caillou. I hated this character in my childhood too. I don't know why, but he was somehow fucking annoying. I don't know why he had some friends, by the way.
Oh joy, is there nothing that causes heated discussions on the internet more than a hated cartoon character? I know that I'm the guys, can we please calm down? These are cartoons. You have not just witnessed the burning of the Reichstag in real time.
Okay, this got me. Yeah, this is... By the way, my English is talk on this day again, yeah. Now, it's pronounced Reichstag, by the way. Reichstag. But I get it.
I do miss the era where people would just pop off on cartoon characters they disliked in the most explosive way imaginable. There used to be a ton of videos like it, and they range from actually kind of funny to blatantly out of pocket. Hey, Collider, what the f*** is this thumbnail? That's not a real frame from the Lighthouse. This video is 6 years old. She canonically wasn't even 18 yet.
Consistently and ruthlessly point out my shortcomings.
Exactly! She's a slut!
Some characters start out being fairly well liked and slowly degrade over time, and some characters just come out the womb for the...
Oh, I know the what called... This was 2022, if I remember right, the discussion about this year, so because I see only clips of this, mostly of some another YouTube videos, and oh boy, this was brutal, not in a gory way, but in a fucking, what the fuck, Mindy Kaling, what the fuck was the idea of Mindy Kaling to do this bullshit? I really fucking know. And yeah, I say from besides the skin color, I see this as a new interpretation of this kind of work. So I get this point, but everything else, she was awful with the character. My fucking goodness.
The purpose of being insufferable. Either way, I thought it'd be cool to look into some of these guys and see how bad they really are. And just a heads up, Scrappy Doo will be absent from this list, I know. Also, this is just a bit of fun. As much as it would be hilarious to channel my own neurodivergence into a rant about why Peter Griffin farting is unfunny, I'd rather leave it to the professionals. Also, I'm sick. But in this video, before I continue, this video must be rendered from from this Disney series. I know only the German title. This exclusive pause. I don't know the English title. But yeah, Randall must be on this list. Randall must be.
Peter, what are you doing? Crack? What the fuck?
Honestly, every character in Family Guy is worth putting on this list at this point, given how much they've all fallen off since the show's been.
No, not Stewie. He is true. He is maybe a little insane sometimes, but for itself, do you sure?
But you've definitely heard more people complaining about Peter and Brian compared to any of the others. People f***ing hate Peter Griffin, and it's really not hard to see why. I was watching some of these old cartoon rant videos I was talking about a second ago, and while I won't be playing multiple clips in a row of people screaming into their Sennheiser headsets, I was still taken aback a bit. The general gist of it is that Peter was once a dumb but loving father in the first few seasons, and over time got more and more flanderized into being an actual monster. And while that
Oh yeah. Sometimes he acts really as a fucking, more than a fucking psychopath. I mean,
may sound overdramatic, it honestly isn't. The stuff that Peter does in the newer seasons of Family Guy is borderline psychotic, as he's the main character they use for the majority of the show's shock humor. So basically anything from abusing his family and friends to killing cats is on the table here. I apologize that a lot of these clips are going to be blurred. I love keeping my money, and Gaussian blur.
But I don't know why the Family Guy compilation channels get monetized. I don't fucking know. They seem to actually only the Family Guy
My
clip.
best friend. I think
So,
a lot more
by
people
the
would
way-
be more lenient with Peter's antics being far more sociopathic if they and the show itself were still funny and not going too far. But if you know anything about current day Family Guy, then you know that ship sailed a long time ago. Pretty much nothing is off limits for Family Guy, which was still true back in the days when it was good, but the utter tastelessness of the show's current writing specifically manifests through
Yeah.
Peter. Now, Brian, on the other hand, isn't really the face of the show's declining writing like Peter is, nor does he do half of the atrocities that have made Peter such an infamous character. No, people just hate Brian because he's f***ing annoying.
Brian, look out!
Something mouth.
But somehow, Brian is it's then be a beloved character in the series. I don't know why, but
Piece for Seth
yeah.
MacFarlane, something completely obnoxious and a flanderization of who he once was. He's just an unpleasant character to hear speak, and they're completely aware of it too. They had an entire segment of an episode where he gets grilled for all of his flaws by f***ing Quagmire. He's just an asshole, not even a super psychotic one like Peter. He's just a dick in the purest way imaginable.
yeah, this is sometimes true. I don't know which episode it was, but yeah. It's sometimes he's really annoying if I see Family Guy in my free time. Yeah, that he could be really annoying. He must be, if it's not necessary, or must be the, what's called, the duty must have the last word everything,
Well,
every
like,
time.
You look at Peter and you can kind of see the parts in him that are from the earlier seasons, and he still has those rare moments where he's fun to watch.
Has resulted in the deaths of millions of people throughout history.
You know, I have not talked to Carol all night. Carol, how are you?
But Brian is just blatantly not the same character as he used to be. It's actually shocking how hard he fell off to the point where he's actually hated far more than Peter despite never doing anything nearly as bad as him.
Scooby? And wait, what did Scooby do?
This is a much more
Oh no. Yeah, Velma. Okay. She is
recent
Hey.
example. In fact, it's probably the newest character you'll find on this list. But Velma managed to speedrun, becoming one of the most hated characters of the 21st century quicker than anyone could have anticipated. Now, obviously, when I say Velma, I don't mean, you know, the actual Velma.
Yeah, she's a little bit what's called a little bit in the original Scooby-Doo series. One of them is so many. I don't know which kind of which exactly series it was, but she was on she was a smart, nerdy, lovable character of this group.
I actually did a recent binge of a lot of Scooby-Doo shows and movies that I either completely forgot about or hadn't seen in a long time. And I think I'm at a point where Velma is probably one of my favorite characters ever. Maybe it's just recency bias hitting me, because finally experiencing how good a well-written Velma can be after seeing 2 seasons of this Velma was immensely refreshing.
But yeah, this was awful written. She is
Velma from the
awful
TV
written.
show Velma is not just a bad Velma, but this Velma specifically barely even resembles Velma. Velma as a show was conceived specifically to make people mad. It doesn't actually believe in anything it does and exists purely to be successful from people grifting off it, and all of the show's worst aspects are crammed into the character of Velma herself. I'll always be disappointed that we finally got an adult Scooby-Doo show, and instead of being genuinely interesting, it just makes me want to rewatch.
Yeah, this is what you say. It's in general really interesting to make a adult Scooby-Doo cartoon. that is gory violence, cursing, etc. in the show, but with well-written characters and a good timing of humor, not this cringy kind of push-it humor. And yeah, I've really seen only few clips of the show, and no. Only no.
Zombie Island for the 50th time. Everyone in the Scooby-Doo cast is butchered in this show, to be fair, but despite being the underdog of the story, the show really fails to make you root for Velma in any capacity, as she's literally the absolute worst person here. Being completely insufferable in every scene is one thing, but she's just an outright terrible person and deserves nearly all of the shit that gets thrown at her. The problem is that the show, despite being strong in its convictions and motivation to be the most hated show ever by making people really angry, seems to actually have a hard time writing Velma consistently, so you never actually know if you're supposed to root for her or condemn her for the bad things she does. Because they do frame her in a negative light at multiple points, like when she reads Daphne's diary, but then a minute later will treat her like she's still a victim of unjustified bullying by the world around her. It's quite odd. In fact, the highlight—
no. Oh no, okay. First, she act like an asshole, and then she self-victimized. And then she victimized herself because she act like a fucking asshole.
The show for most people was getting to see Velma in pain at multiple points. She's just completely insufferable.
I spit truth without a filter, like every comedian before #MeToo. Oh, bro.
I see only these few clips, and I wish I had the baseball bat to fuck her face with this bat, because only these few words of her make me fucking angry, and I will, yeah.
God, don't even get me started on the will they won't they stuff between her and Daphne. If you want to watch a gay Velma that doesn't make you want to rip your hair out, then Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo is down the corner to the left.
I'm full of sadness.
Steven Universe is such a rock-solid cast, quite literally.
I'll be honest, I never heard of this cartoon. Maybe because I stopped watching TV with drugs or something like this.
Any outliers, no matter how minor, are really gonna stick with the viewer. Ronaldo is literally just a random side character who shows up at most 3 times a season, and yet he manages to be more hated than Space Hitler. Ronaldo is a conspiracy theorist.
What the fuck? Who the fuck is Space Hitler, and what he's done?
Flying start, who can be entertaining in moderation, but when he has too much screen time, or God forbid an episode's plot revolves around him, then things really start to fall apart. Ronaldo works in moderation because he's a one-dimensional prick and completely full of himself, so when he's used for a small gag in an episode, he can be quite funny. However, I have no idea why out of all the residents of Beach City, he seems to be the most focused next to Lars and Sadie, 2 characters that have far more depth and can actually carry an episode on their own, or with Steven. It probably had something to do with his obsession with the crystal gems and the odd phenomena that happens in Beach City, I don't know. But it's not a coincidence that some of the most hated episodes of the show tend to revolve around him, and it doesn't really—
Okay, I can really nothing say to this because I never heard of this show, but he seems annoying.
The other characters in the show can't stand him either, especially the gems. If a character is meant to be annoying to the other characters but is still annoying to the viewers, they're still annoying. And Ronaldo's obsession has also been shown to make him incredibly
annoying
dangerous.
character, I get it.
City Weird is pretty infamous for having Ronaldo knock out and kidnap Steven.
Okay, this seems creepy too. I think he would take a cloth. I first think my mom is, would he put his clothes on in front of kids? And then I remember this is a kid show, or should be a kid show, but yeah, I don't know.
A child, and even though he didn't know it was Steven at first.
Moment, I must take the cat out.
Since Steven was in costume, he was still trying to knock out and kidnap what he believed was an endangered species, and to make matters worse, fast forward all the way to Steven's—
Okay, shit, then he's an annoying, stupid, and dangerous idiot
In Steven
character.
Universe Future, recounting all of his childhood trauma, the scene of Ronaldo knocking him unconscious is featured here. Ronaldo was so obsessed with the paranormal, he knocked out and kidnapped a child and then gave them trauma. And then in Horror Club, he straight up tries to kill Lars because they're no longer friends. Like, holy shit, what?
Yeah, this escalated quickly from an annoying side character to a possible kidnapping pedophile murder. Okay, this escalated
What's
quickly.
wrong with you? I think everyone's tolerance for Ronaldo finally snapped with the episode Rocknaldo from season 4, and it was honestly the perfect storm. The episode was promoted teasing the reveal of a new gem, only for it to be bait, so people watched the episode and realized they were duped into watching Ronaldo be a dipshit for 10 minutes. Ronaldo was already an extremely unpopular character by this point, so many were gonna hate the episode on principle, but it's the fact that the marketing for the episode was an outright deception that really got on most people's nerves. Not to mention, season 4 was already a pretty divisive season due to the sheer quantity of filler episodes, along with the large gaps between new episodes releasing. While this issue isn't a big deal nowadays given you can watch the entire show from start to finish, the waits between episodes back in the day were rough, and to be baited by what was finally looking to be a plot important episode only to be sandblasted by Ronaldo was painful.
Yeah, and this seems somehow wrong. I mean, maybe I've looked too much hentai, but this looks definitely wrong. Especially in the face of a child.
The universe took note of this because after Rocknaldo, Ronaldo not only never had an episode where he was central to the plot ever again, he just straight up vanished. He only showed up a few more times throughout seasons 4 and 5 with some incredibly minor roles, before being turned into a background character in Steven Universe the movie and Steven Universe Future. And honestly, thank God. I may have pretty fond memories of Steven Universe, but Ronaldo definitely had a habit of ruining many episodes I would have otherwise enjoyed.
Okay.
You read it too.
I don't think there's been a more blatant
the modern
example of
Patrick.
character flanderization in a cartoon than Patrick Star. Depending on who you ask, Patrick is either someone's favorite SpongeBob character or the one they absolutely cannot stand, because a lot of people mostly remember Patrick fondly from SpongeBob's earlier seasons, and for good reason.
Yeah, I know the early seasons. They were funny actually, but I really don't remember the newest episodes. But I heard really that they should be really shit, the new SpongeBob episodes.
His stupidity wasn't the only thing that made him funny, and when it was used for jokes, they were done in a much more earnest and well-meaning manner because he was portrayed as a pretty chilled out and nice guy. And it also helped that he wasn't completely rock-bottom stupid and actually had some agency. He just seemed like a nice guy. I'd go get a beer with classic Patrick, or at the very least he'd get a beer and I get a pint of water and we play darts on.
So Patrick Star is so the story. It was the shield to Zelda friend of your friends group.
Why am I writing fanfic with me and Patrick? Never mind. The later seasons of SpongeBob are pretty renowned for flanderizing basically every character, but Patrick easily got it the worst. All of his agency and chill were stripped away and his IQ plummeted. The only joke with modern Patrick is told by treating him like the dumbest ape to ever walk the earth and then aiming for
Okay, I see. Only this kid that was completely dumb.
Fruits. Again, Patrick used to be dumb, but he still felt like a person. And what definitely doesn't help is that with Patrick's newfound lobotomy came a bunch of episodes where he kind of just became a massive dick. Either his stupidity would be dangerous to the people around him, or his stupidity would be written to allow him to be a dick with no consequence.
Yeah, I remember the episode with SpongeBob, I can't pronounce his name. With SpongeBob's farm, who is a splitter of wood and then Patrick makes only more
basically a less extreme version of what happened to Peter Griffin in the later seasons of Family Guy. It's just that Patrick is far less sadistic by comparison. There's not a whole lot to add here. I just think it's sad because Patrick at his best is generally the funniest part of SpongeBob. Even in the later seasons when he has his moments, he's the best part of the show. I hate that nowadays he's only written as this hyperactive half-wit, and even though I can
and technically, Patrick was never really hyperactive. He was what I said before, the stoner. So a stoner. is a kind of short story character, not the hyperactive crystal meth head. He was the stoner.
Patrick Star show far more than most people. I still find his characterization there to be pretty hard to watch. It makes me very happy when I talk to the average person who watched Fairly Odd Parents as a kid and ask them, hey, do you
I think every
remember
the
Chloe? And they
series.
just stare at me and ask, what the f*** are you talking
I heard of her. She should, if I remember right, he should be fucking very soon.
about? Because it proves to me that the majority of people who watch the show only remember what it was like before Chloe was shoehorned into it, and that is a life I wish I was currently living. And there's a reason why most people have no idea who this is, and it's because she was added to the show for the sole purpose of increasing its ratings. No one was watching the show when she was added except for die-hard fans, and this wasn't the first ratings trap Odd Parents had tried. This show was dying for a long-ass time, not helped by it also being terrible far longer than it had ever been good. First was the addition of
Yeah. Sometimes it's, what was the phrase? Sometimes you must leave, if you're on the highest point, sometimes you must relieve, when you have the most fun.
Most people don't really mind, and nowadays is looked at more fondly, especially
Or
with their
something like
presence
this.
in A New Wish. But then there was Sparky, who was just immediately removed from the show and quickly forgotten about because no one liked him. Chloe was the show's last-ditch attempt to stay relevant and avoid cancellation, and ultimately it wasn't enough as this ended up being the show's final season. As a character, Chloe isn't even that notable, nor do I really have much of an opinion on her. It's the way she was just tacked onto the show that made everyone hate her. She didn't really have many flaws like Timmy did, as well as having a really piss-poor excuse for having fairies in the first place. Then there's all the other stuff like the show's iconic theme song.
There was something that you must have a sad life to become some fairies.
Completely butchered with new cringeworthy lyrics all about Chloe, along with the intro animation being hacked to pieces and served alongside clips of the new episodes, as well as the other well-liked members of the supporting cast basically being absent like Chester and AJ. Chloe
This dude was the coolest side characters. What was the cool side? Chester and AJ was the cool side characters
felt
of
less
the
like
show.
a new addition to the show and more of a hostile takeover of its identity, even if as a character she was far more
But who the fuck is Randall?
Sparky, and the idea of her and Timmy sharing fairies is much more original than giving Cosmo and Wanda a kid. She is still near universally despised to this day due to how much her inclusion was crammed down people's throats and for also being attached to Odd Parents' last and most pathetic season.
Johnny Test? What the heck? This was a cool series.
By how many people look back at Johnny Test rather fondly these days. I remember back in the day the show was treated like Devil Spawn, though that may have something to do with how overplayed it was on Cartoon Network, not entirely.
Yeah. So, I remember Dark Johnny Test in my my stupid brain, but what I remember is there was not really annoying characters in
But
there.
I just felt like including Johnny Test here because even if you like the show, you've probably seen some of the insane hate artwork on DeviantArt and wondered, holy shit, why are you so angry? I don't even think Johnny is that hateable of a character. Like, yeah, he's a little shit, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but to defend him, this was what make him to a cool character, because he's a little shit, or was a little shit, I don't fucking know anymore. But he was not but he learned of his mistakes sometimes. But I don't really can understand. In case of, for example, Peter Griffin, he is really a dick. Johnny Test, he maybe was sometimes a little asshole, but he learned on his mistakes.
That's the only reason I'm bringing up Johnny Test here, just the artwork in general, and like the previous sentiment around him. Even if it's not present today, I still think it's worth noting. Okay, moving on.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
You.
Oh. What the fuck? Oh, yes, Daddy, this sounds somehow weird. And I don't know which kind of weird. But definitely not this good kind of weird.
Little fucking. My beef with Caillou is incredibly personal. I'm sure you all know why.
I I think this was the most people in the internet that I have a personal issue with Shorty Test, so we in the same boat,
Caillou
bro.
was hated already. Whiny little beat the shit out of the little. This was the cartoon that got everyone.
Why beat this shit with pants? Take him as a shooting test for some Russians.
They realized that kids can and will copy what they see on television, and an unfortunate consequence of that was people moral policing literally any kid show that prioritized being funny over teaching good morals. So yeah, congrats Caillou, you bastard. Spoil.
Better idea than show Caillou better idea than Caillou show the better idea. Don't show your kids Caillou. Show your kids what called this anime? Ah yeah, Corpse Party or Elfen Lied or Helsing Ultimate or I don't know, Blood Sea or something like this. This I guarantee you, your kids don't have a trauma of this. This is my this is my fucking guarantee of this.
Old ass kid with tantrums at the wazoo and said behavior is just tolerated and rewarded. If your only exposure to Caillou is for the Go Animate videos where the kid just spills juice on the floor and then gets grounded for 3 millennia, then this should be a rather peculiar plot.
Yeah, so oh fuck millennials. I have a child theory. Millennials or Gen Z who look Caillou, they look their behavior up from this little fucker. So please take your Kalashnikov and shoot on this little fucker. So this is what he deserves, and maybe not because this is too good for him. Maybe 10 years ago in China would be good for him.
Plot twist. But truthfully, my hatred of Caillou comes from the fact that as a kid, I knew many kids who had grown up watching it and demonstrated all the behavioral problems you'd think that would entail. And this behavior would persist as they grew up with me through primary school, and it made interacting with literally any of them feel like a hostage situation. So thank you, Caillou.
What? Yeah. Yeah, say my words.
Multiple of my classmates developed severe behavioral problems until I was 10 years old, and then they all fucked off to a different secondary school than me. Congratulations, you bald terrorist. Now I know there are a lot of other hated.
Yeah. So you can use more dangerous than fucking Al-Qaeda.
There, but I'm kind of trying something new with this video. If you would like to see another video on hated cartoon characters and get me a lot of views or something, it's January. I'm making YouTube videos in January. This is the self-employed equivalent of working a graveyard shift. Play Yakuza or something. Trust me, I got a big video coming up this year. You're gonna want knowledge of these games under your belt. I've been prepping you this entire time.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, this was this that was this video here, guys. Yeah, I would say, we see us in the next video. Take a like on this video. Link is in the description, and I say bye bye and see you in the next video. What I say before.